VR Chat, the next frontier. These are the experiences from Gunters' universe. His continuing mission? To seek out and connect with VR devs and passionate enthusiasts. To discuss theories, beliefs, and rhetoric of all kind. And to boldly go where no show has ever gone before.
Woohoo! Alright everyone, it is go time. Time for another episode of Gunters' Universe. I welcome you all and thank you for coming out tonight. It is June the 23rd and this is episode number 12. Got a bunch of people here with me. Yep. How is everyone?
Sweet. Pretty
Awesome.
Good, pretty good.
Yep. Excellent. So we got a great show. We have an amazing guest. We're going to have stimulating discussion. And I'm here, your host, your humbled host, Gunter. So let's get this party started.
Woohoo!
Well, with me tonight, I have three fantastic guests to talk about flight-related games, Oculus launch titles and Toy Box. Also some of the Morpheus games that we've seen lately. A really cool game called Meltdown that's on Steam, and Crytek. Our first guest tonight on my right is the developer of Faceted Flight, a flying VR game that's in the works. It's a cross between Star Fox and Pilot Wings. How are you doing, Matt?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Gunter?
Excellent. Excited. Glad you could come on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is cool.
So I want to show your trailer and talk to you just a little bit. Give me one moment to boot that up.
I can't see or hear Matt.
Hello.
The best thing you can do if those sorts of issues happen is to rejoin. It's pretty much the only superpower we have here to deal with problems in the metaverse. I have my hands tied normally. So yeah, I'm going to click this thing here, see if it works. Can everyone see and hear the video?
No sound though.
I got sound.
I can hear everything, yeah.
I can see
Sound
and hear
to me.
it, yeah.
You might
Oh,
need
not
to
a sound
download
code.
Flash,
I
buddy.
can hear.
Right on. So Matt, this is a really rad game you got going on. Checked it out, really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of flight games, and I love your aesthetic. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration for this.
Nice, thanks. I was really inspired by games like X-Wing. When I first put on my Oculus Rift DK2, really one of the first things I wanted to do was go off and make an X-Wing VR game. And as time went on, saw a lot of people were doing space games. And what I was really doing a lot of in Unity was making these huge terrains and flying around. It was just a lot of fun to like go around mountains and valleys and canyons, stuff like that. And so I just kept going with it. Faceted Flight, the aesthetic is actually kind of funny. I upgraded to an Oculus SDK.
Next video started.
But anyways, I was set to demo this flight game that I was working on, and I upgraded to an Oculus SDK the day before I was making my build, or the build was due, and that broke everything, totally broke perf and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So my only option was basically to go with this really stylized, abstract sort of aesthetic. That's the only thing that would run really fast for my really broken SDK. And the people that played it just absolutely fell in love with it. And for me, it was a lot of fun to make because I'm in love with games. Like for me, like back in the early Sega Saturn days or stuff like that, like Virtual Fighter, that was the future of video games to me as a kid. And it's really fun because like now I see virtual reality as like the future of entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just like, it's kind of fun to revisit that old aesthetic. It's something that I love. And VR is something that's really close to my heart too. So it's a lot of fun to combine that, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up like the Sega Saturn or Sega CD. Those were like the future consoles that I couldn't afford, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, totally. It was, I mean, like up until we got those early 3D consoles and arcade games, I mean, it was just sprites, right? And for me, it just, for some reason, the transition to real-time polygons and stuff, it just, like, blew my mind, right? Like, I was, like, I don't know, 8 or 10 back then, so, like, I was just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. It's real. Now you look back, it's like, it's not real at all, man.
Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on simulator sickness? When I play your game, I don't get sick, but are you concerned about that? I think you having you're piloting a vehicle helps with that. What are your thoughts?
So simulator sickness is something I had to deal with really early on. My wife, I want her to play my games, right? It's like your significant other. It's like I spend all my time making these games. I want to share it with her, and she could not play any games when she'd put the Rift on. She would get sick almost instantly, and so for me it was a battle to build something that she could actually play, you know. And really, like, once, like, I would build something, get it to where I thought it was cool, then get her to play test it, and she'd get sick almost instantly, or like the first time she did a barrel roll, stuff like that. And I really had to work on figuring out, like, how to make that as smooth as possible, and how to let people have this really active VR experience without getting sick. It's something I've spent a lot of time trying to do. Before I went indie, I was an animator, and I worked at places like Valve and Oddworld, and I spent a lot of my time just focused on motion. And I feel like a lot of that background helped out in trying to make something that feels really, like, fluid and still feels nice, but also doesn't really get you sick. I mean, like, the most I'm trying to elicit with Faceted Flight is kind of like a roller coaster, like, tummy tickling experience, right? Like the days of somebody having to pull the headset off because they're sick, those are long gone for me. I've worked that through a long time ago. It's something that I think is just absolutely important for all VR developers, though, right? It's like, it's a cardinal sin if you put out a game and it gets people sick. And it's something that really we haven't had to deal with a lot in video game development until VR. So it's been an interesting challenge.
And before I move on to our other two guests, I just want to finish up by talking about your Kickstarter. What's the state of your Kickstarter and your goals there?
The state of the Kickstarter is that it needs everybody's help, please. If we have a fairly modest goal in terms of, like, an actual game budget. We're asking for $50,000. We have about 9,000, just over 9,000 raised so far, and we only have, I guess starting tomorrow, 9 days left. So it's looking fairly grim for the Kickstarter. But if you go play our demo, I've actually updated our demo from the first one I released back for the Kickstarter. There's a lot of feedback I got from that I wanted to roll into an update. And also, I updated the demo because there's a lot of people who don't have VR headsets, and I was VR exclusive when the Kickstarter launched. And there's a ton of feedback from people that are like, hey, I'd love to play this, but I don't have a headset, and I'm probably not going to get one for a long time, right? And so it's, like, hard to back that.
Right.
I've really been trying to work on kind of fixing those problems. So yeah, like, I've updated the demos. I've got one exciting announcement coming up later this week, maybe early next week. And then I'm also getting the demo up on Steam. So it's going to be a lot easier to update it now, either to add new features or fix bugs and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, everybody go back Faceted Flight. Let's make that happen. And what's your Twitter? I imagine your announcement that's coming out will be broadcast on your Twitter account?
Yeah, the Twitter is @FacetedFlight, or if you want to follow me, I'm LMattScott on Twitter. But yeah, we'll be announcing it both on Twitter. You can join our mailing list, the Flight Club. Everything goes out to those guys first. So if you want to hear stuff first, go sign up for that.
I like that.
Yeah, welcome to Flight Club.
Awesome. In front of me, I have another great guest, an epic YouTuber, RealityCheckVR on YouTube, and you're epic. Especially the best video you ever had was when you showed up here randomly, not knowing what was going on in this space. That was awesome. But yeah, welcome to the show, dude.
More epic memories. Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here again. Happy to sit at the table. Always a good experience here, and always fun to see what you guys have to offer as far as not only development talks, but just to see who's on the show. And of course, Matthew Scott, thanks for being here, man. It's good to see you again. I saw him in Converge just a few days ago, and that was also pretty sweet. So it's really nice to.
It's great.
Yeah,
I've been running into people from just from all over the internet, running into them in these VR chat rooms. It's so cool. Yeah, it's great seeing you again too, man.
Thanks. It's like you said. I think it's really cool that we can actually kind of meet with each other because obviously we all live far apart, and here we are together again. I have memories of being in this room. It feels like another little piece of home right now. So, like I said, happy to be here, and always gonna keep coming back.
Right on. Yeah, I love the Converge folks over there. Sean and Hayden are really running a great gig, and hopefully I'll have them on the show soon. But Reality Check, Caleb, what you been playing lately?
Oh boy, I've got actually a lot of videos I need to get up. I've got probably about a dozen videos, honestly, that I need to put up there. But lately I've been stuck on the Subnautica and the Ark Survival Evolved, which you can see up there. That game is just really cool. I went and saw Jurassic Park with my wife the other day, and we just couldn't help but want to get in this game and actually walk around and see the dinosaurs for ourselves. And this does a great job of actually showing you the textures are so real, and they really the hair on my skin was up. I mean, when I played this game, I couldn't help but be extremely frightened. And I know where I'm at. I know I'm at home. It doesn't matter. So here I thought I would escape from the Stegosaurus by going in the water, right? And I'm like trying to figure out what these little gray dots are. I'm like, what are those little gray dots? And then I realized they're sharks.
This is awesome.
You know when your brain does that thing and it tells you you're like you can go this fast, and those things they're going that fast, and that's not good.
Yeah, it's giving me chills. I don't like that.
I really like that. Yeah, I really want to play this. I didn't pick it up during the summer sale, so now I'm disappointed. Yeah, that's awesome.
That one's a fun one. I've been hanging out a lot with the. They're really good at getting just different elements put together. Oh yeah. Hey Crytek, what's up? As I was saying, they're really, really good at. Oh, Gunters gone. Well, I'll just continue as I was saying.
Everybody got booted.
Oh no. Should I continue?
Yeah, we're still streaming.
Alright, well.
I can hear you. Don't worry, everyone.
I know when I lead me to victory. It can be kind of annoying. Okay. All right.
I think that's what happened.
Sometimes when I talk,
Dang, that's
people
like
leave.
a big
It just
crash.
happens.
Well, it keeps us on our toes.
So am I gonna leave next?
And we get to enjoy your beautiful face up there, Nick.
Oh, how perfect. I love looking at myself.
I know, right? You're going to hate this, but I had to show. I wanted everybody to see you. You're such a hunk, dude.
What a majestic beard.
I'm sad that I didn't get to hang out with you at SVVR, man.
Me too, man. Like, I wish you were there. Like, a lot of people didn't make it that I was hoping to see.
Yeah, I should have totally just made it. I should have made it happen. You know, you can always make things happen, one way or another. Sell my body, whatever I have to do.
You have 2 kidneys after all. You could get rid of one.
Oh, I already did that a long time ago. So, Kenny, how's things on your end before we... Whoop, we lost Matt too. Bummer.
Things are good. I'm back in the camera position,
Still
and
streaming.
camera's still working.
This dude is checking me out. Help me.
Let me check this stream here. See if there's people there.
Go away, you creep.
Oh, there's like 100 people in the stream.
Awesome.
Nice.
Not. I'm lying.
One day.
I know, not yet. This is our first stream. I guess I'm virtually incorrect. I used to get 30 or 40. I think there was 50 at once, so that's what my goal is, to get back up to that. So am I not seeing everybody? Because I only see like 7 of us. Probably should come back in. Onion Burst, what's up, dude? Protect me, man. Alright, I'm gonna come right back just in case.
Hungry.
Did it happen again?
No, it's...
No, good.
Well, shit balls. I see a billion people over there at the entrance stuck. This is all new. So I'm just going to wait another minute and apologize to the stream and the recording. This is early days, how it goes. In fact, I don't even know if Kenny's here.
Oh, I'm here.
By the
Kenny's
way,
the cameraman.
where's your stream at?
Come on, internet, cut it out.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, does this stream on Twitch or something?
They're on Hitbox.
We'll do it live.
I don't stream to Twitch. I stream to hitbox.tv /Gunter444. Hitbox has a very low delay. Twitchbox does
That's
not.
true. Twitch
It's like 5
delay is
seconds on
horrible.
Hitbox, so it works. It's good.
What is it's like 20 seconds or 2?
Because the idea is actually going to have another panel, probably above the seating here a bit, that will bring in the chat from the stream above the table, so we can interact with them as well. So big plans.
Nice. That sounds cool.
Unfortunately, we are having a lot of bustage tonight, and Nick has to keep staring at himself longer and longer. I would hate that. I can't even watch my shows. I can't hear my voice.
Yeah, I got over that a while ago. I mean, when I have to edit the podcast, when I first started, it was like so painful, but you really get used to it.
Yeah, that's why I don't edit. I didn't get over it, but also editing takes a lot of time, and I spend a lot of time finding guests, booking guests, herding cats, things like that.
Nice.
So with the whole streaming thing, it's gonna be huge because the camera angles will cut. Be interesting if we don't bust, which most of the shows it's been just like me once or twice having to come back in. You see a couple guests, not guests, but the audience that happened to. Nothing like this. This is extremely messed up.
This is
But yeah.
It's happened every time I've been in here.
But not like this, not
I'm
this
joking,
mass.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. It's never happened.
Oh.
Never happened.
Yeah, not like this. This is sad.
No, I've never actually gotten kicked out before. I've had to respawn only because my body falls off my head, but that's my own issues, I guess. I need to just hold myself together better.
I don't see Kenny. I'm sitting here waiting for Kenny, but maybe he's here.
No, I'm here, man.
See him?
I'm filming. I don't know if the camera icon's showing up.
See or hear him?
I'm right behind you. If you turn around.
Okay, I'm gonna restart then.
I somewhat feel like we live in Harry Potter land because there's that cat that's always around.
I don't trust it.
Filch's cat.
Like, yeah, it's oh my god, it's got a frick. Okay, now I know.
There we go.
In this room.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
I saw it cast a
person.
spell earlier.
Oh my god. See,
Meow.
the cat
Mr.
is
Whisker,
going
stay
zang.
with me. Meow.
Okay.
Hey, so
Was he all set and then got kicked?
Happy birthday.
Oh man.
Oh my god, there was just two good things that happened there. Not only the irony of Gunter leaving, but the fact that the cat has little hearts coming from it. Come on, guys. Come on. Oh, Somebody
How do I
pet
do
it.
that?
Hold on. I'm gonna pet it. I'm gonna pet it.
Ay, 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 ay.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so I can't see reality check unless he's not here.
He's
Yeah,
playing with the
everyone
kitty
seems
cat.
to be at the spawn for me. Or
Oh,
at
dude.
least some.
Yeah, he's just right here.
I
I'm
can't.
fixated on the stupid button I gotta hit. That's so difficult.
I wish I could bend over to pet the cat.
What scripts are you using in this room? Because that happened to me in another room using custom scripts for, yeah, that people just stayed on the spawn position.
Nothing in the set's changed. Kenny's wearing an avatar that is that new camera system.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I can kind
I
of
don't
keep
think they'd be
tabs on.
related.
Yeah, I mean, I've been jumping around from different views, no issues at all, no lag or anything,
Oh,
and
that
so.
was creepy.
That is so awesome.
I'm sorry. He's beautiful. I love him.
So creepy.
Простите, comrade. Oh god, that's a little kid. It's okay, little boy.
All right, let's
It's
take
okay. It's okay.
take.
That's not very good.
Places, everyone. Let's try it
Evolve is
again.
back. Evolve
From
is
the
back.
top.
There you are. Okay, wait, so did Gunter leave again? Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh no.
Gunter, are we
Oh,
staying in this
shiitake
room?
mushrooms. We may have to call it and just go have fun.
Yup.
Okay.
Maybe we should
Come
change to another map, another version of Gunters Universe.
Well, I just created this one today. It's the same file. I mean, I guess
But-
that could be it, or I don't know why that would be. You mean
Well,
just
causing
go
trouble,
ahead and do
so-
it again anyways? Yeah. So yeah, it's just another. I'm iterating on the number just because before like I had a problem with the video playing, so I thought, well, I'll just rename it to a new number and create a new room. The problem ended up being the sync program, not the room here. So I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe you should just go ahead and do it anyways. Is that what you're recommending, Scripto?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's really hard to understand you. I'm still in Skype. I think we should either pick the last version of this room that still worked, or I don't know. Did you have any?
It's closed down.
Any deal? Oh, okay.
Well, it is working right now, everyone.
No, it's the same one that Graham pushed out to me like weeks ago, and I just renamed it and created a new room.
But you're using a DLL file as well.
No. No.
Oh, okay. That's.
Well, let's do this. Let's see how long we last. What the? Places, everyone. We will resume things. Is the stream working?
Let's see here. It shows streaming. Let me
Everybody just calm down. It's okay.
I can't put my other hand
Talk
on
about-
my other leg, so I'll just put them both on this one leg. Hopefully I don't look girly.
Yep, stream's
Zeke
working.
Cannot look girly. Impossible. Okay, cool. So yeah, sorry or thanks people watching from home. You got to see some hilarity ensue, but we're gonna resume the show now. And we were just talking with Reality Check, and we checked his video out. And thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it. And now let's talk to Patsycoconut, Nick Laporte, who is the host of PureVR. Is This Real Life podcast? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's really awesome to be back on the show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And so what you been doing? What have you been talking about in your last episode?
Well, the last episode was actually a few weeks ago. We took this last week off. So really, I've just been spending my time getting deep into the Gear VR and checking out some new demos that have been coming up on the share.
Yeah, I haven't checked out much gear lately. What are you recommending? What are you checking out? What do you like?
The game I've spent the most time in has to be Hero Bound Spirit Champion. That game is just so much fun. That's actually a company who's creating that one Oculus demo that's out right now that they're showing off at E3. I can't remember the name of it. Does anybody know what it is?
We're going to talk
It's
about
like
it.
Chrono something, right?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
Yep, Chronos.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, it's just a wicked dungeon crawler, and you get that fixed position in each dungeon, and it
Right.
just feels comfortable to just run around and beat the hell out of monsters. It's just a ton of fun.
That
So I
one-
suck real bad because I have a gear, and I didn't buy the Bluetooth controller yet, and now I'm traveling around a little bit and just can't get it sent to me right at this moment. Afraid something's gonna happen, and haven't been able to play that. Unfortunately, I keep hearing about it, and it's a little sad, but I'll pick it up soon.
Yeah, you gotta get around to that. What I do recommend is the Moga Pro controller. That's the one I bought instead of the Samsung controller, and I am just in love with it. Not even just for
Right,
Gear
yep.
VR, but also to just put my phone on to the controller. I can play like N64 games or whatever I want to play. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah. Didn't even think about the emulators. That's totally what I want to do. Yeah, that's the one I have in my wish list, my shopping cart, which is waiting for me to purchase.
Kill it.
So we talked a little bit also that you are playing Meltdown, a game that's on Steam right now.
Yeah, Meltdown popped up on the subreddit a few weeks ago, and I watched the video, I checked out the page, but I didn't buy it yet. But I did notice it's half price, and I think right now it's half price. It's like $3 or something. And what happened was the other night I was online with Brandon, who's the other half of the PureVR, and we noticed that a couple guys from the Left-Handed VR podcast were playing Meltdown. So we're like, hey, let's buy it. We know it's multiplayer. Let's get into it. So ever since then, that was like 4 days ago, I've just been obsessed with this game, just deep into it every single day. It's a top-down, third-person kind of scrolling game where you're shooting robots, and that's what you do. And you collect loot from them. It's just so much fun.
Actually, I have a video. Let's take a quick look at that. Or actually, I got this video of you. I want everybody to see your beautiful face, and this is one of your latest videos on YouTube from the SVVR conference.
It has to be somewhat old because he's shaved now.
Showing off the latest engine.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
And it was fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. So the CryEngine used by Crytek to create our games. We've made Far Cry, Crysis 1, Crysis 2, Crysis 3. We did Rise: Son of Rome, which was a release product for Xbox One, and we do arguably the most high density, most beautiful, most graphic scenes in gaming. And
We're going to talk about Crytek towards the end of the show. How was SVVR? How was that experience?
Man, SVVR was eye-opening. I met a lot of people there that I've known for a long time in VR, so that was really exciting to see people in person who I haven't seen before or met before in person. That was really exciting. But moreover, the whole conference was just fantastic, just to see all of the different tech that's out there and have that hands-on immediately was just so cool. I love that. Is Gunter still with us?
So what have you tried to do to overcome those
I don't know.
we
There
made
he is.
mistakes early on. So let me start with
Okay.
the mistakes,
This
and then we'll
looks
sort of show
amazing
what we
right here.
did.
I'm back.
So,
I'm here now.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Crisis 2, we had stereoscopic
Like that
rendering,
is
where
just
the game was
amazing.
trying to support 3D
So what that was
rendition
with the
of a
Crytek
2D
demo,
experience.
they were working
And
on
we put
CryEngine
that
with
right
the
into
VR
Crisis
support,
2,
and what
and
he was
it worked
saying
out
is
really
that
well
they
on
actually
that
had a
television.
few
You get that 3D
Crescent
experience,
Bay
but it's that
units
old 3D
to
experience.
develop on. They didn't have them to demo, they
We
just had
thought,
the
hey,
DK2, but the
VR, we'll
experience
just
was
take
actually
that
very
same
interesting.
pipeline, we'll adapt it a
The
little bit,
dinosaur,
and
it's a
we'll throw
T-Rex, it
that
just
scene up to
scared
use
the shit
eye,
out of me.
and it'll be fine. And it was really cool. It ran really fast, and it made people really sick.
Yeah, and we saw on the subreddit
So
recently
that
that
mistake,
Crytek said
we
if you want
solved
to be
that by
relevant in
doing
4
the
years in
thing
game
that
development,
people
that you
liked
have
on the
to
subreddit,
have a
the
VR
Matrix
solution.
So the matrix of
I find that very
being
interesting
software
that
operating system is
they're
different
putting that statement out
now.
there.
That's a VR path
It's really nice
within
to see.
our
I
game.
mean, obviously
And that is
us
entirely to
here in this
support the
community,
fact
we're
that
huge
the way you view
evangelists
data
of
is different. It's
VR,
not simply the
and
old-fashioned
even some
spot
might
picture
say
offset
obsessed with
and
it
another
to some
picture
point. So
offset for each
to
eye.
see a company
There's a
come out
lot
there
of
who's been around for a
subtlety
long
to take
time,
into
who
account
proved their
when we look
point
at details of
as
how to solve
developers,
that.
they've made
But
great
bottom
engines,
line is
great
we had to
games.
rebuild that whole pipeline
So
in
to
order
see
to
them
get
do
to
that is really
game
exciting, and I
releases.
think that's going to speak loud
That's the key
for
point.
the
I think a
entire
lot of
gaming
people have had
community
that
and tech
problem
community as a
getting
whole.
virtual reality sickness,
Yeah.
similar to motion sickness. And to
Yeah,
find
absolutely, and they're
VR is
working
a
on
really
an
part.
exploration
Past rendering
experience.
has been a big part
What's the name of that?
the higher spec type of games, really high demand games. So
Yeah.
my question
Oh,
is
The
it
Journey.
scalable?
Robinson, The Journey.
It is
And so
scalable
people
to
that
a
were
degree,
reporting that
but
it's
right
a
now we're still in that tech demo, and
quite a
the phase
polished
where we're
looking
going, what are the rules for
experience
what we can and
title.
cannot do in VR? Our
So it's
engine
great that
does,
we
you know,
see
turn things off and it drops
that we're
down
seeing this
as
sort
far
of
as the fidelity you see,
of
and it maintains a frame rate.
level
But in
of
VR, our point of view
AAA
is
studio sort of thing, a
being in that
Crytek
location.
engine. That's pretty
So we don't
fantastic.
know what the lower limits of that are as of yet.
So
We've
let's
partnered with the hardware
slide over
manufacturers to
quickly
make sure
to
that our
Meltdown
solution does
video. Just
work
watch
with
that real
their
quick since we were
solution.
talking about
They've
that.
released specs, different specs
For
for
sure.
different
By the
platforms.
way, if anybody
We're
wants to
making
check
sure
out any more SVR videos, we got some interesting ones there at PureVR on YouTube.
Said PureVR.
Yep.
Nice. Definitely check that out.
Thanks, man.
And so, PureVR is your YouTube channel, and then Is This Real Life is your podcast, correct?
You got it.
So this is Meltdown. I played this a little bit. I bought it. I haven't played it with you guys. Haven't played multiplayer. This is awesome. Yeah, it went up to $6 now. So, you know, big deal. $6 is nothing. And it reminds me of like Smash TV, sort of some StarCraft in there, and you look like Rambo.
Yeah, and the music just makes it. I'm a big fan of the techno overlay.
Right? And they made him blonde. Woohoo!
Yeah, when you're kicking ass like that.
Yeah, and it actually gets quite challenging as you get to the further missions up in the 30 area. Some of the enemies are quite annoying. The sniper is just a bitch.
So rad.
Yeah, so a funny thing is, obviously this game isn't just for VR. You could play it on the screen. You can also play it for tablet. Now, I did try it with both. And I have to say, playing it in VR is much better than playing it on the screen. Having the option to look around freely at what's coming and what direction is fantastic, because when you play on the screen, it's in a fixed location. Your camera only moves when you move, and it feels restricting. +1 for VR.
Yeah, I love the whole miniature look that it gets in VR too. Like on the screen, like just as a regular monovision game, it doesn't look like it's like the miniature look, but when you're playing in VR, it's just awesome, you know?
Yeah, it's like Blaze Rush. Reminds me
Exactly.
of that.
Yeah, or Toy Box
Killer as
Turbo.
well, multiplayer. Okay, so let's jump into...
Wait, real quick. Has anybody here played
Yep.
Lucky's Tale? Is that the name of that game?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
tried it.
That's the name of it? No.
Yeah, I'm
Tell us about it.
fortunate enough to be in Dallas, and they're close by too. So they came by the Dallas VR meetup. I think the last meetup that we had, and so yeah, I got to try it out on a Crescent Bay. It's very, very cool.
Nice, man. No, that's awesome to hear. Like you're saying, those 2D games, I think that they're probably one of the ones I'm actually looking forward to the most. I mean, we're all
Okay, let's
using
take
these bodies, but whoa, what's up, man? Are we?
Whoop.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Gunter.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, Gunter. Oh,
Tested.
Gunter.
And it's Norm from Tested. Norm and Chan, we're getting ready
Tested.
to go
I
try
love Tested.
CV Oculus Rift.
Tested.
This is it. And the Oculus Touch. You half move
So I
to
enjoy
the
watching
side.
this tested
To get the
video,
demo, I'm going to interview Nate.
and we're going to skip
You
around
guys
in
are
it
the
a bit
best.
and,
Stay tuned.
talk a little bit about
All right, guys.
specifically the
This is a
games
video
that
video
they
at
reference.
Oculus, and he's holding basically the engineering sample of CV1, the Oculus Rift. This is so exciting, Nate. How are you feeling?
Super exciting time. We're really
Crashing,
thrilled
crashing,
for
crashing.
E3 2015 showing off the Oculus
Oh,
Consumer
Gunter.
Rift that people are going to be getting their hands on in
We are
Q1
now
of
super
2016.
busted
That's right.
again.
So
Oh, nope,
you
you're all
have a
there.
bunch of
It's all
questions.
me.
Let's go
Good.
right away. Let's start
I'm
off
good.
with
I'm
what
good.
you see on the inside. I know you guys have written blog
Yes,
posts about
tested. So I want to talk
specs,
specifically about
system
the
requirements.
games that they
I
mentioned.
wanna
So
know this basically
talked a lot about hardware in
so
previous
some
shows.
questions that we didn't get answered about the press and beta
Now let's
version.
talk about software. So I got some
Screens.
timestamps that I want to
Two
pull up.
screens that are what resolution?
So it's 2160 by 1200 split over 2 eyes. And they are running at 90 frames a second for that full low persistence experience.
Right. These are OLED screens, so they kind of flicker at a high. But, and I'm using multiple
Man.
fingers. I'm grabbing, pinching.
Beautiful.
It lets you basically when you push the grabbing button, that gives you collision detection on your hands. Yep. At which point you can interact with the world around you. If you want to pick something up, you grab it with the collision button and then trigger. A little bit of a learning curve with that. It took me like 15 seconds just because when I want to grab something, I'm grabbing it normally, like this. But, and I'm using multiple fingers, I'm grabbing, pinching like that. If I'm grabbing in the game, it's more like a hand grab, like holding something. So I'm like grabbing like that. That was a layer of abstraction that for me took a couple minutes to get over to the point that I didn't have to actively think about it. And by the end of the demo, it was completely without thought.
I want to kill.
That interview was 10 minutes long, probably. So after 10 minutes, I felt very comfortable in the same way that I did with the Valve stuff that we saw at GDC. Now they're very aware of keeping these light.
I don't think I have my timestamp where I want it either, but really want to talk about, hear about Toy Box.
Is it inductive charging, or did they say? They did not say anything about that, confirm anything about that. They did say that.
So you guys know about the Toy Box stuff that I'm referring to?
Talk about it being a multiplayer experience. Yeah. Someone was in a different
Little
room using this.
multiplayer demos.
Yep. In the real world, it could be someone across the country, across the world, and you're
Yeah, so with these touch controllers, when you try them out at E3, folks were able to play with some tools, with some little mini games that show off how touch works in VR, and it's a multiplayer experience. Two people are in the environment and they have all these little toys that they can play with, such as a Roman candle. So in one hand you can flick open a Zippo, and with your other hand you can light the Roman candle and have fireworks in VR. You can also hand it to somebody. Yeah, I was really digging the idea of like, handshaking or something would be awkward, but handing somebody something is less awkward. They can grab the other end of the Roman candlestick and something like that.
I did almost smash the prototype controllers together when I had two things in my hand. I wanted to see what happened when I smashed them. Yeah. They had. Did you do the bit with the ray guns? Yeah. Yep. So shooting the ray guns. Pick up two ray guns and it's just. Pew, 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 pew,
yeah. Here we go.
It's awesome. Super fun. You can look down the barrel, doing boxing gloves, robot gloves. It's a very natural action. Just to box. Picked up a puppet and could puppeteer with the trigger, slingshot, the thumbsticks.
Puppeteering, that's badass.
The lighter with the thumbstick.
Yeah, that one sounds a lot of fun.
Super real. Yeah. Like those experiences. Once you abstract the grabbing and finger control, a whole lot of stuff becomes possible. You can even do things like take your finger off of the trigger and close the grip to make your collision stuff turn on, and then push something across the surface just like you would in the real world. It's pretty amazing. I mean, we've used HTC Vive, which has similar controls,
So yeah, all these little demos. Yeah, Nick, you've heard of Toy Box, and tell me your thoughts on it.
Well, it is just demos, right? And it's not something I've had the chance to try, so for me it's just kind of speculation from the outside. However, I think it's really interesting to see them succeed and have these huge impressions, because everybody who's tried it is blown away. And that just makes me want to try it more. I'm really excited for it, but what else can I say about it? It's something I think I need to try. It's like VR in the first place. You need to try VR. I think I need to try this to really have a good impression and a real good opinion about it.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. I've seen quite a bit, a number of videos. Olivier, our good friend, he did a Periscope and really talked in depth about it. And I was getting very excited. You know, a lot of the things that they were talking about, using these ray guns, and one person would shoot the other, which would turn them into a tiny avatar. You know, just little ideas like that. The tether ball. Matt, what do you think about Toy Box?
It sounds like a lot of fun. I really want to try it out. Like I've done the full motion tracking like Vive experience, and like doing that as a co-op multiplayer sort of thing, that would just be awesome, right?
Grabbing controls, trigger controls, but it doesn't.
Let me skip to the Insomniac Games title that they talk about.
It's going to be really important with multiplayer.
So now my wife's going to have to hear me say, "Dear, I'm going to go play with my toy box."
One of the things
Great.
that talk about when they
Just great.
is that they weren't
Well,
interested
I'm
in
ready for it.
communication. I'm much
Guys, I got to get home from work. I need to go play in my toy box.
That one was a third-person adventure game. It's really interesting
Not
to
even
see how developers are using the
camera,
glasses,
how camera control works.
Exactly.
Like if you think back to Mario 64, when they figured out camera control by putting on the C buttons on that weird N64 controller, that was a real turning point. Even though that camera is super janky by today's standards, it made 3D platformers possible. They're still figuring out, like developers are still figuring out how the cameras should work in these games.
Chronos, which is another third-person action game made by the people who developed Hero Bound, fixed camera. Every time you enter a room in the dungeon, your camera's
Oh. Oh, he's still controlling the videos.
You guys should really just make fun of me when I'm gone. Just,
No,
when I pop out,
no,
just
no,
start
never.
saying bad things about me.
Just need a little volume on the video.
Oh, I did just see this recently.
I actually tried this.
Okay, there we go. Thanks, Kenny.
No problem.
Did you?
Yep.
Does it feel pretty good?
I can tell you right when you step into the cave, it's an amazing experience. The cave.
Yeah, I was thinking that looked pretty terrifying, and you know, when you're surrounded in darkness like that, yeah, I was specifically thinking that looked awesome. What else about it?
I don't know. Just the whole experience was really.
And this is Dave Stiles talking.
Yeah. I tried it. Yeah, the cave for me, like as soon as I stepped into the cave, was like putting on a DK2 for the first time. Same type of experience.
That's nice, man. I like it when it's kind of dark. Anytime it's kind of moody like that, the experiences are really cool. It reminds me of like a Lara Croft, almost Prince of Persia mixture, but not.
And at the beginning of the beginning of the game, when you start jumping around on the ice blocks, it starts to snow, and the snow on a CV1 looks really realistic.
Yeah, I like that. You know, we have a snow environment, and then you go into a cave. You know, so it's bright light to dark light. You know, that shows off. You know, the various different lighting that you would see now. I wonder what the screen door effect is still. So did you notice screen door when you were trying it?
Outside I did. It wasn't as bad as the DK2. I would say it's about double. It's like twice as good. You know, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
When I got into the cave, I almost didn't notice it at all.
Yep. So third-person title. At first I was like, why aren't we seeing first-person games, you know, during the press release? You guys feel the same, or are you just excited about these third-person
Well, third person is a lot more comfortable for most people, right? That's what I've seen. Like it's a lot harder to get some sickness. Like when you're moving around in first person, like even here, like I've done a lot of VR stuff, but kind of navigating in here, I get a little queasy sometimes. Where it's a lot smoother in third person, kind of like Meltdown, right? Like they have a pretty smooth camera and it's nice, and it doesn't really get you sick. And I mean, it looks like that's what they really focused on, is a really comfortable experience.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think that's the case.
Here's another third-person title as well.
Yes, this is Kronos, the one I was trying to mention. I forgot the name.
Wow. Yeah, this is beautiful. I'm in
Yeah, it
love
makes
with
sense,
this
and they're also launching with the gamepad, right? Touch isn't launching with CV1, so I started feeling like, well, I guess this makes sense. A gamepad and third-person view games go hand in hand. Well, sort of. Or rather, first-person titles I think will work better with the Oculus Touch, and I'm thinking that we'll see more information or hear more about first-person titles as Oculus Touch becomes closer and we know more about it. So yeah, rad.
I'm really interested to see how like Riggs plays. I saw a lot of people that played that. They're like, this is a really comfortable first-person experience where I'm like running around at crazy speeds and stuff. I want to see how they're doing that, like how that works out, you know.
Yeah, I got a video of that as well. I wanted to slide on over to the Morpheus and take a look at some of the titles that we've seen at E3. This isn't the best video. It's the only gameplay I could find. The trailer's pretty cool and all, but it's quite a bit exaggerated. I'm not sure how well this is showing up in the screen here on the set.
The video is paused for me.
I can see it.
It's interesting. It almost
the video
looks like
is paused.
there's a cockpit in there.
On the tested interview.
Right, kind of like the mech assault type thing.
Let me resync it.
And I do have to say, Matt, I'm sure you actually know from being in development with Unity, like when you sit there and put a 3D camera with the Oculus, it's automatically smooth in there. And of course, when you've got any kind of movement, whether you're in a third-person, first-person view with a human, or whether you're in a cockpit, everything you do with the control, is definitely going to make you queasy the moment you're kind of involved into it. Of course, there's different tricks to prevent that, but yeah, I think they've got it really easy the moment they start doing a third-person view game. I mean, almost anybody can play those. Not that the other games aren't good. It's just going to be more user-friendly.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, this total first-person experience. You do seem to be in some sort of helmet, so I imagine that helps to a degree. You're using a gamepad here. You're not using any of the Move controllers. It's not quite as fast-paced looking at the gameplay. It just looks like a, first-person shooter. With low gravity or something.
I want to play it.
Oh yeah, I love all. I want things that aren't safe for VR personally. I want these things that push the limits because I can handle it. And our target market right now is going to be gamers, people that can, I think, for the 80%, I think, deal with not get the simulator sickness that are used to these sort of things.
Yeah, and especially with the new specs, the 90 hertz, the newest headset, I'm sure that'll alleviate those problems in a way. But as it comes down to it, I think the choice for them to show those third-person games and to include the gamepad with the Oculus Rift is a big shift to try to appeal to the more casual markets, that open market, because obviously we're going to buy it no matter what. But if anybody here has bought a Gear VR, not having a gamepad is a big problem, Gunter, for yourself, right? There's like half of the games you can't play because you don't have a gamepad.
Yep.
So to have that included is wonderful.
Definitely.
So it promises a different video. They talk about, and I think they do a good job of talking about the Morpheus titles.
You have to kind of use the VR goggles and the
There we go.
to actually see the hole, because the block fills
Yeah, it takes me. I have to go to the terminal, the chat room, and type cryptic commands in to adjust things.
Oh, I'm so into that game.
Really fun. That one did have a floating controller, but you don't get your hands represented. Next, the kitchen demo.
So you use the other.
That's one where you said it models your hands being tied because you're locked in a room.
Which I think we'll see a lot of if you're using DualShocks and they're modeling hands.
And that was interesting because you're abstracting hands being tied by holding the controller.
Well, so what they're doing is they're tracking the light bar on the front of the controller and then using the IMU inside the controller and using their knowledge of human skeleton and anatomy to figure out where your elbows and stuff are. It works out okay most of the time, but when it goes wrong, it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, so the elbows do move around weird.
Yeah.
Not exactly how your elbows would move. It was a horror demo, lots of horror demos. The monster comes from behind.
I found that one, especially in the dark room, was a little bit, it was the least good looking of the demos that we saw today. They were also trying for the most photorealism. Yeah. So I think that there's probably some connection there between photorealistic stuff that you're familiar with, versus fantasy settings or maybe abstracted, more abstract settings.
Now, asymmetric.
So there was two titles there. One that's a Tetris sort of 3D title that you're using the gamepad, the IMU and gyroscope or whatever's built into that to use it to actually move it around. That's one thing. And then this kitchen demo is a horror game that you're still holding on to the gamepad, but they use it. They simulate like you have your hands tied. Any thoughts on both of those titles?
My hands tied together sounds kind of scary. I don't know about that, but
yeah, I thought it was a little clever to, since that's kind of the position your hands are in on a controller. That, so without using the move controllers, that's a way to sort of tie it together. A little clever.
Right. Yeah. Luckily, with the Oculus, you can untie your hands.
Yes, indeed. Now, I think it's brilliant.
So the next one uses the move, but it also... Go ahead.
Sorry. I think it's brilliant that with the PlayStation and the Morpheus, to have that controller is really fantastic to be able to have that movement just with the gamepad. That I was disappointed with when they announced that the Xbox One controller was being bundled with the Oculus Rift, because it didn't have that feature, which I found when I did demo the Morpheus, that it was very, very useful in VR. It gives you another sense of presence, and it helps with that immersion.
Absolutely.
The next demo,
felt that way.
I'm basically excited for this next one. To me, it blows these first two, but I wanted to show that there's quite a variety of titles for Morpheus, which I wasn't aware of. It's this sort of asymmetrical game where there's one person in VR and 3 or 4 other people just with gamepads looking at the screen. So let's check it out.
Virtual gaming, 5 per Morpheus. One person wears a headset. You were a dragon moving around.
Just using my head.
Just using your head, and 4 people with controllers running away from you, seeing the screen. Now,
you guys were the ones running. I didn't know who you were.
We were. It was really interesting because it showed the PlayStation could power not only the visuals of the Morpheus, but also then output a separate image, different perspective.
I think this is killer.
On the TV, so you can get 5-player gaming.
Now,
this is their equivalent of the Wii U.
Or something like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, where this is the entry game for VR. You get your Morpheus. I think that this will probably be the first thing you fire up.
That is so
you put
cool.
it on. Everybody in the family takes a turn on the controllers.
I
Everybody
want to play
on the headset. It's worth mentioning
right?
This was a lo-fi model compared to
I think this is something that Morpheus has over VR and PC.
That looks like so much fun.
Oculus, and Steam VR, which are computer-based desktop experiences, this is where it maximizes that couch experience in the living room. VR to living room, made for asymmetrical.
No, that's interesting to see that the PlayStation can go ahead and output both signals. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it is. I think in the beginning when we thought about Morpheus and PlayStation getting into VR, I was like, well, how's it going to power, these sorts of things? But they obviously now have titles that people are trying and they work. That title was, cartoony, low poly. I'm sure that has a lot to factor into it. Optimizations, the developers are able to optimize like crazy. Exciting. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, no, it's great to see so many Morpheus games and so much variety. I think, like you were saying, I think it's just amazing that it can actually output the VR screen as well as a separate screen with 4 people playing. That's huge. That's really huge.
What else? What do you guys think?
I don't know, well, just seeing them do something like that, I mean, just other thoughts. I've had a lot of people, talk to me about the Oculus, and they'll say, oh, I'm a big PlayStation fan, so I don't have a PC, and so it's always like, well, there is the Morpheus thing, check that out. And as soon as they do, they come back to me, and they want to talk about all the different things they've seen with the Morpheus, and of course, one thing that always pops up recently is the fact that the controller can be tracked with it, and how those things are united. And I guess being with the Oculus, we're kind of one step ahead of that, especially if you've had a Hydra before, because we've kind of been doing that now for quite some time. But one thing that I almost would think would be somewhat interesting is like, you know, we've got here in VR chat, they've got a level that you can go to that's got the characters, the models already set up. And I've got the Duke Nukem set up here because I walked in there and I literally just walked up to the model, clicked on it, and then it popped there and it instantly transferred, you know, it created me into Duke Nukem. Something along that lines is what I'm thinking is in the future we'll be able to walk into a place like, you know, Gunters Universe right here, where we're going to have virtual characters. We're all going to be sitting at home on our desktops, but this is our desktop, and we can literally go into a game that we're all jumping in together, and we can, you know, click the game and boom, you're there. So, you know, imagine if we had a virtual console sitting in the middle of this desk that we all just, you know, hit the space bar on, and we're all instantly jumped into the VR chat and, you know, in the game playing with it, you know, together. I think that's going to be possible.
And it was like
more happening.
Like Captain N in the Game Master when he gets sucked into the TV. If anybody
right.
is around my age.
Yeah, like double sucked in, yeah.
Yeah.
But I see that happening.
Super excited. So I've wanted to toss some of this to Mr. Whiskers, but I've been too frantic with the crashing. What do you think of this title, Mr. Whiskers? Mr. Whiskers will, I think.
He's talking to Cat, everybody.
Yeah, Mr. Whiskers is the cat. Mr. Whiskers meows or poops, depending on what he likes.
Nice.
We can have review time. He doesn't like it. I don't know if he doesn't like Morpheus or just this title. So I didn't prepare a Mr. Whiskers segment. I'm sort of just throwing some things randomly, but in the future we're going to have a little Mr. Whisker time, so it's pretty cool.
That's great.
I'm really glad we don't have smell piped in right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just right next to you, buddy. It's real close. I like the drum roll though. That was the best.
The poop
yeah,
is
I love
growing.
being able to look over here. The poop is growing. Yes. Luckily, Mr. Whiskers is a wizard and is respectful and cleans up his own poo and doesn't treat the set like a litter box. Okay, what else? We've got
Then you try
a few other things.
Accessory, the gun.
Yeah, so this was a tech demo made by Impulse Gear, and it's in addition to normal VR stuff, we can move your head and look around. They had built a controller out of like the Frankenstein parts of a Move controller, nav controller, PS4 controller. Put it on one of those plastic guns that you snap the Move controller in last generation, and obviously this is an oversimplification because it's not that hardware anymore, but you basically had an independently fireable gun that was independent of your viewpoint. So kind of like in the London heist that we saw at GDC where you could pick up the gun, aim down the sights and all that stuff, you could do this with a rifle that you were holding with two hands. Your left thumb controlled movement, the right thumb you could do turns to kind of adjust your perspective if you drifted or if the world turned. And then you shoot, fire, you basically use your two triggers to shoot.
Was it on rails or was it a free?
No, you were free moving. So the left thumbstick was strafe movement, forward, back, left, and right. And like you could get through the world. You could use cover. You could lift the gun up over your head, shoot over a rock, get the angle that you needed to kill something without necessarily having to stick your body out.
Did it take you out of presence because you were using the thumbstick to move and not moving your legs?
That part wasn't so bad. There was a little bit of drift occasionally that was kind of uncomfortable, like in a VR sickness kind of way. They were very quick to point out, A, they're breaking the rules about first-person movement in VR. They're moving much faster than you're supposed to move. They said that they were able to do that because they're not giving you points of reference that your brain is familiar with. So you were able to move faster because it was a really large world. There wasn't like fire hydrant, something that you know how big it is and how fast you're moving toward it. Aiming was really good. There was a laser pointer on a laser sight on the front of the gun. You could also aim down the sights a little bit, but the way you were shooting it was by putting the dot on the thing you wanted to kill and pulling the trigger.
And that's my
So one thing to point out is how are all these people going behind them not aware what tested is and able to come out and be like, oh my god, it's tested.
Right. I hear you there.
Yeah.
So they have a gun accessory. What do you think that's? I mean, I think it's cool. Do you guys think it's cool, or is this now an extra input device that kind of throws things for a loop?
Well, it could be useful, and you got a rifle, right? Because as we've seen, if anybody here's tried the London Heist demo, which is actually fantastic, is that you can use a pistol with a single move controller. It feels great. So I don't know. If you want to go the extra mile, why not?
Yeah, I mean, as long as, like, it's not like it's not, all the buttons are the same as a DualShock controller, right, on the rifle. So, like, it's not a huge port problem. Like, it's not like
right, I get it, yeah.
an Xbox controller versus the touch, right?
Right, they already have the gamepad support plus their move support, so it's pretty much just a mixture of those two things.
Yeah, it's just like it's a remix of the same gamepad, right? Same buttons, so same actions. I mean, you could just, like, if it's more comfortable to remap it, like, remap some of the controls to the new one. That's not a huge problem, right? It's not a completely different input, because I'd imagine if you're going to support the rifle, you would support just, like, the naked move controllers, I guess you could call it, like, not in the gun cradle, something like that. I don't have a whole lot of experience with the motion controllers, though, so not too sure.
Well, I think us hardcore gamers, or just gamers in general, will definitely like that. Heist is up next, so when we play that, I think we'll have a bit to say about that.
I realized also with the London Heist demo, which is sit down, you're in a car driving, that one, the aiming worked really well.
You're aiming with the sights, right?
Yeah, this one looks so cool.
Tracers allow you to, point forward and aim up, aim at cars, motorcycles. I thought it would be difficult to shoot at the tires of a car driving alongside, but with the ammo, with the tracers, it was really easy.
Were you tapping, or were you holding down, spray and pray?
Spray and pray, holding down and dragging, and
wow.
It was really fun. I like the way that they're using chairs for the London Heist demos for sit-down experiences. It felt more like being there than...
Grab his dick!
Like, that game feels like
Yeah.
something that's going to be a series of vignettes that you take the helmet off, the glasses off in between, come back in the real world, and then sit down for the next chapter in the game.
And then, finally...
This thing looked really weird.
This one...
Oh, that was
you're
pretty brief.
Attach the hardware...
So, Nick, did you get to try a Heist? Or maybe the previous Heist demo?
The previous Heist, not this one.
The pistol, not the Uzi, and
Yes.
not in a car, but behind a desk.
Exactly. But that looks awesome.
It does.
So you have the experience of that, and now know, by seeing that, what that might, be like, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, what I said before, I mean, the one Heist I did try was the previous demo. It feels fantastic, so that looks even better. I am eager to give it a go. Hopefully I can have that chance.
Yeah, have you guys tried, there's an old arcade game, probably a dozen years old, called Police 911 by Konami. Have you guys tried that?
I do remember that game.
No.
So was it at all similar to that? Like, because it looks similar, like in the moving around and stuff like that. Like, because that was a lot of fun. I mean, that was like a huge workout, but it was a lot of fun because of that. So you're dodging behind things and stuff. Is that what it was like?
I had less moving when the demo I tried, a lot less moving.
Okay. Yeah, the video made it look like they were like stuck in behind a desk and stuff like that,
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing too. Like,
Yeah,
standing up,
definitely
ducking down.
Yeah,
But just not moving around the area, just up and down, I guess, right?
Yeah, it wasn't extreme.
Right.
The last thing you want to do is fog up your lenses.
Totally.
That's a good point. So how about this? We're all going to want to get a bicycle and basically steer, drive, I don't know, our horses.
And I'm pedaling, I'm riding a horse, and the horse, I'm pedaling to simulate riding a horse. And it can be any vehicle. It could be a tank, it could be a UFO, it could be actually a bicycle. I'm wearing the Morpheus, the VR headset, to look around.
Is this a fitness game?
No, the idea is that you can blend fitness with virtual experience. And I did want to pedal more, because I did get wings for the horse. I'm flying over a canyon, pedaling harder to get higher lift. My worry for it, and it was really fun and immersive. My worry for it is too much immersion for that. I wanted to sway my body, and that could have been bad.
Well, so they had the bike on a big exercise mat that was fairly wide. It looked a little ungainly, especially if you're somebody my size and height. Yeah. It seems like I could have taken that thing down in a way that wouldn't have been good. Did it feel at all like Birdly when you were flying?
A little bit. So it gave you that really good presence of not only am I steering, I'm also pedaling and I'm looking around, and that was really cool. But like I said, if you get too much into it, you pedal too hard. I could see someone down the line if they're not safe with it, turning too hard and just knocking themselves over.
Do you picture a world where you go to the gym and there's 40 people on a row of exercise bikes wearing goggles, flying virtual horses?
I don't think it's gonna be a bicycle. Maybe like a one of those steppers.
Elliptical or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it.
So we're all gonna run out and buy a bicycle now, right? Use it with our VR.
Oh yeah. The liability issues bubbling in my brain right now.
That is a cool idea, though. Like, I'll give them that. It's like putting your body in that position has to feel good when you're just looking around, and it's like in the virtual world, you're sitting down on a horse instead. Anytime you're kind of mimicking that real world posture, that helps add to the immersion, you know.
Super cool, absolutely. I mean, to use the bike in that situation, I think is a really good idea and very creative in a way. Because myself, I'm an avid cyclist. I go every day. I absolutely love it. So to try to recreate cycling in VR, I don't think it'd work very well. So I like the approach that they have for this. It's really cool.
Absolutely, man. Good to hear. I think more people need to be into cycling, and anytime you can make a game turn into an exercise activity for the kids, I mean, we can all ignore it, but we know there's a huge problem these days, people just not, going out, and if it happens to be that, it's okay. It's just that if we can have fun while we're exercising, I would be more apt to do it, I know myself even, so I'm happy to see people doing that kind of stuff, and absolutely excited to try it.
And one last, well, this isn't it. One last title called The Deep.
All right, how's it look down there? I'm reading a lot of movement. You're in for a good show. But remember, we're not here so you can commune with nature. We've got a lot riding on this.
Oh, I saw this after I made my video. This would be even worse.
Okay, equipment check. Take a look at the suit. Move your head. Make sure you don't snag on anything.
I like the avatar quite a bit. That's cool.
Okay, here we go. Going down.
Yeah, and just the surroundings look so beautiful.
Totally, yeah.
And I can say from experience right now, every underwater game I've played is just 10 times more terrifying than a non-underwater game.
It's true.
It just
For me,
gets
myself.
It gets me really, really well.
I remember playing Super Mario 64 and even having to swim Mario underwater freaked me out.
Right. And yeah, even in Sonic, man, Sonic underwater is freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
Subnautica's got those same bubbles to give you air.
Listen, we're having a little technical difficulty up here. I'm getting some weird readings from the suit.
Has anybody gone diving before?
You didn't cut yourself or anything, did you?
Yeah, I love diving.
I've done it a few times. Yeah, it's rad. It can be pretty freaky. I really like the idea of having those sorts of exploration in VR. I haven't played Subnautical though.
VR Gaming Evolved, he actually dives in real life for his job, and he
Yep.
loves Subnautica, says he loves playing it just because the way it makes him feel. It's coming from somebody who does it.
Very cool.
More sharks.
And yeah,
No.
I can't handle this sort of stuff in VR, man. Like, I get freaked out.
Like, I get the chills. I
love it.
I can't imagine like how bad it affects me. I'd never expect it.
Like, I'm not a fan of the horror. That's just like shit popping out of you and it's real loud. But this sort of thing, like, I like this. Like, it's terrifying because you know you're able to anticipate what's going to happen. Something that you're able to see it coming. We're familiar with sharks. We don't want to drown.
The guy with the Morpheus on is just smiling real big when it,
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, when the shark comes at him, he's just super excited.
His pants are now brown.
Right.
He's a sadistic son of a bitch.
It's like the little flares do nothing. They're just like, hello, annoying him.
Food here.
Right.
It looks nice.
Oh no, it looks stunning. The breath, oh gosh. I can't wait for movies to be like this.
No doubt this is an impressive demo. And I like how they're expanding on this. This isn't something new. I think the first time they showed off the Morpheus, this is similar to the demo that they had.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I didn't realize there was all these titles and demos and things. When I came across them, I was pretty excited. I still won't buy Morpheus though.
For sharks.
For sharks. Cool, cool. So that's just a quick thing about Nintendo. They're not interested in VR apparently. They think it's antisocial. So
pessimistic.
I'm certainly not going to be picking up any Nintendo consoles. I'll just play the emulator on the phone. Will work for me to play old school stuff.
Well, talking about antisocial, I think, this is just a stunning example of how antisocial VR is. All of us here right now in it together.
Yeah, right.
I do have to say one thing.
We're only people coming together from all across the world,
Right. Exactly. I mean, I'm sure we've had people from all kinds of places here. Oh, sorry about that.
It's incredible. I know, and this is just us chatting. I mean, it's no more than having this physical representation of each person in voice chat. But just imagine in the near future when we actually have body language come through in VR. We have facial tracking and accurate body tracking when we actually communicate as humans. That is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the evolution of ourselves in these rooms, in these spaces.
Right. Yeah, I did see them doing the SMI's got some tracking demos where they can do that kind of stuff. I do got to say real quick, Matt, I was developing I just started Unity 5.1. I got that going because I was trying to get a project going for the Leap Motion. They had a challenge that ended yesterday at 1 p.m. for the image hands. And if you're familiar with Leap Motion, they've got the normal hands that you put in front of you, and you can see your skeletal hands. You can switch between male, female, robot hands, all kinds of cool things. But they just recently released a demo that has image hands, which actually allows you to see your real hands in front of you in the VR demo. So I'll be playing around in the world, and I can put my hand up, and I can see my ring on my finger, my actual wedding ring, because it's my hand. It's kind of, they're a little black and white because the way the Leap works is an IR camera. So they've got a little ways to go with it. Anyhow, as I was doing this, though, I for the first time jumped into Unity 5, and I realized, although VR support is extremely easy to do, I have a video showing it, they kind of copied you a little bit there, buddy, because you were the first person to do the whole Faceted flight, flying through the rings and doing that, and I noticed when you jump into their demo with vehicles, they start out with a little flying thing, and they've got these rings in the air, and they're totally paying homage to you, buddy. Just wanted to let you know that you did it first, but that's their starting demo is a similar. It's not the same by any means, but it's definitely reminiscent of it. But I just think it's funny that you got that first. So it's a good software though. I mean, if anybody gets a chance to, Unity 5 is extremely user-friendly and fun.
Sorry, I forgot to hit the button and I was talking. But yeah, the Leap is actually it was kind of impressive. I used it for the Leap Motion Jam back in November and built a little whack-a-mole game for that. It was kind of fun. I really it was I was disappointed in the finger tracking at the time, right? But it was just really cool using your real hands as like an interactive game object, you know,
right?
Or to interact with that stuff.
I couldn't find the one you're talking about, but
the game or
no, the leap motion. I think this isn't it, but it's an example while we're talking about it.
Yeah, it's similar. These are actually his hands being tracked as opposed to a robot, but it's not. It's just showing you kind of the image pass through. And when it loses tracking, they disappear. Of course, they can change it so you can actually see the hands a little differently. I haven't seen the green color before. But no,
That's wild.
I do remember the whack-a-mole challenge, so that's awesome that you made that one. I was thinking, actually, that's really funny that you're here then, because I was literally thinking of kind of copying, and not copying, you know, but I wanted to do a similar type of pushing 3D characters into holes, you know, to create points with the image hands. And as I was thinking of doing that, I was certainly thinking of your game from the Leap Jam. So that's cool that you were the one that did that. So I did Major Quest,
cool.
but didn't really. I wish I could update it to Unity 5. So far, I'm having some problems getting the transition. So keep working on that.
So Caleb, was Major Quest your first experience? Because you had Leap support on that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's when I first heard about the Oculus Rift being $350. I thought, you know, it's a lot of money still. I mean, I'm not super rich or anything, and I have to work for everything I have, but I realized that was a goal that I could reach. So as soon as I saw that, I saw the Leap, and it was something I already knew about, and I thought to myself, if I was going to develop a game, I wanted to develop something that anybody could sit down, put on, and play without having to put on a whole bunch of gear, without having to do a lot. And putting the headset on, you can jump into my game and put your hands in front of you, and you see them. And I know that there's a few games out there that are like that, but I mean, just simply jumping in the first level and being able to play with your hands and, you know, push balls and cubes around is something that I think is like one of the more fun things to do in VR. And I've had a real hard time finding places to do that or games that I can just do that in. And just recently today, I had somebody get in VR for the first time, and as soon as they do that, they want to play with their hands and they want to move things around. And of course, I don't put them in my demo first, so I've got to then switch them around. But it would be nice to have more content like that. But as you guys are all saying, the leap motion is just really, really cool. It adds a lot to your games, but only if you need them.
Yeah, I wish I had a leap.
Patsycoconut. As you were saying, the Major Quest was the first thing I ever did, and as you can see, if you ever play it, it's got very, very simple scripts in it, but it was fun. It was fun to play.
Yeah, I tried it out quite a while ago, because it was several months ago that you released it. I haven't tried it since then.
Yeah, I released like 5 or 6 different versions. Every 2 weeks I was putting them out there because I work a full-time job, so whenever I get the chance I can work on it. But I've got a final update that has new lighting and cloths and all kinds of, you know, water effects and things that just never come out, and hopefully I can get it out soon and you guys can play it, because I've had a lot of fun making it and playing with it, and hopefully if I can get it supported in Unity 5, it'll just be even that much better. So.
Cool.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. So wait, Gunter, you said you don't have a leap motion. Have you tried it?
I haven't even tried it, no.
Oh.
Gunter,
Maybe I'll send you mine.
I was going to say, no, Gunter, you will get one as soon as you become stationary, my friend, you'll have a leap, all right?
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Just like to try it out. I really don't want to throw down the dough for it. I could use a better microphone or something else, and probably won't play with it a tremendous amount, you know. If it was in VR chat supported, yeah, I'd have it. If I could, you know. I got a Hydra, but it's a little bit broken, so unfortunately I'm not able to do all that fancy handwork during the show.
We will talk after the show.
Awesome, dude. Thank you. Gonna wrap things up shortly. Matt, we have a lot of people that are starting to develop in games and VR here. Nick, I know that you're dabbling in that. I don't know how much past experience you have building games, but I think you're playing with Unity now. That is true, right?
Only just got into it, just watching videos and tutorials.
Yeah, and you're a step ahead of me. I know I have the capacity to do that. It's just getting the time to do it. But I mean, Unity makes it so simple, and just involving my set is actually going to be something really, you know, easy for me to get my hands in. There's not really a lot of interactivity I just want to create a space that works socially. But Matt, you've been in game development for a while now. You've worked with Valve, and I actually forgot who else you said. Can you talk about your history there, how you got into it? Did you go to college? Do you have recommendations for us newbies?
As far as recommendations, I would say just if you have an idea, go and build it. Like, that's the most important thing. Is go try it out. Get your first idea out there. It's gonna suck, but that's okay. Like, you get feedback and you get better. You find out what you actually need to focus on. You know, that's kind of been the way I learned how to do games at Valve, or the way to kind of handle problems, and that's kind of what stuck with me ever since. As far as my background goes, I went to I started my game dev career on the art side of things. I went to school in Florida, in Orlando, called Full Sail, and I got a degree in computer animation. So,
that's a great place. Been there before, buddy.
Oh, nice. Nice.
You had friends that went there. Yeah. I grew up in South Florida, and I went to UCF for a little bit.
Okay, nice. Yeah, nice.
Yep, go Knights.
But yeah, like so I went to Full Sail. I always wanted to do games, but like I wasn't really good at programming. Every time I'd get all these C++ books, you know, and I'd get in there and I'd get like 3 chapters in. I'm just like, oh crap, I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore. And the art side was a lot easier for me. So like in high school and stuff, I would build maps in Unreal Tournament, and I'd build mods with friends. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'll stick with the art side. And I've always loved animation, especially like old Disney stuff, just old Saturday morning cartoons, right, like Captain N, all that. And so like I just started in doing animation and trying to focus on that, but I've always loved games. So I wanted to make animations that were not only like really nice to look at, but also very interactive, because that's the magic sauce of games, right? If things aren't interactive, it's just a glorified like movie, you know. Like my mantra for game animation is try not to build Dragon's Lair, you know, where you're just hitting like one button. Even though like I love Dragon's Lair, but at the same time, like that's not a fun video game necessarily, or it's not as fun as it could be.
Yeah, it's beautiful Don Bluth animation, but yeah, interactivity's not too much.
Totally, yeah. So after school, I got a job actually in Dallas doing G.I. Joe animated commercials, and so I worked on that for a few months. And then,
Say what?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was right like post 9/11, like G.I. Joe was getting pushed really heavily, and they needed animators. My demo reel, I had a little soldier clip on it. It was actually an animation test I did for Bungie. And the guy running Real Effects saw that and was like, hey, that looks like a G.I. Joe, let's get that guy. And so that was kind of nice.
Hell yeah, that.
Yeah. And then after that, I went to my first game studio. It was Kronos Digital in Pasadena, California. So I moved from Dallas, Texas to LA. And our game got canceled 2 weeks after I started. And then the studios basically put on notice, like we had 3 months to build something, or the studio had to shut down. And so we worked on a bunch of prototypes and stuff, but ultimately they didn't end up building any solid projects that got picked up by publishers. So I ended up looking for other jobs, and that's where I found Oddworld, and Oddworld picked me up, and it was a really awesome experience. They were working on an Xbox game called Stranger's Wrath at the time, and so
yeah, I remember seeing that and really thought that was awesome. I never picked it up and played it though.
You and a bunch of other people, because actually Oddworld, like that was one of the last games they made for a long time. They had to close down their whole games division for years, and I mean, I'm really happy to see that they picked back up recently with like the Stranger HD remake, and then the new Ape game and stuff like that. That was really cool. But yeah, after Stranger shipped right before Half-Life 2, or maybe right after Half-Life 2, and all of us on the Stranger team, we were just playing Half-Life 2, talking about it at work the next day, stuff like that. And Half-Life 2 was basically my favorite game ever. and I saw a posting at Valve, like a job posting on an animation forum for Valve, and so I sent an email in and got a phone call the next day saying, hey, do you wanna come out for an interview? And so did that and ended up working there for 8 years. It was a lot of fun, and I worked on everything from Half-Life 2 Episode 1 to a little bit on CS:GO. So it's a long career.
Yeah, CS:GO.
Incredible, dude. Any TF2?
I didn't work on the game necessarily, but I worked on the Meet the Soldier short. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet, I can say I met somebody that worked on the Meet the Soldier short. That's highlight of my day.
Something I think we all saw several times.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those were so great when they were coming out. It was just special.
So much fun to do, too. Like, so much fun. Especially as an animator. Like that, TF2 is a very animation-heavy sort of IP.
So, a couple more things before we end the show. You're a cartoon fan, you're an animation fan. This is, like, if I had to pick between cartoons or movies, I'd pick cartoons if I wasn't stuck on the desert island or something. And I always felt like cartoons were more like a virtual reality since it's not really filmed, it's not filmed in a real world. It's actually all drawn, like computer games are drawn, and it's all, something inside the imagination. So I feel like my love of cartoons sort of transferred. But one of the interesting that's going to happen here as the events manager in VR Chat, I'm going to host a Saturday morning cartoons lineup with commercials injected and all of that. So I hope that the community will enjoy that and come out for it. I think I'm going to do it in the morning, or probably like noon here and like 9 a.m. for Pacific. We'll see how that turns out. I might have to make it a midnight thing, and if people might be able to make that a little better. And after the show, I want to take us over to this room that Brute Bandit, one of our community members, has been building. It's basically your small toy-sized in a big kids room. Andy from Toy Story type of a kids room, and we've made a little game to play over there. So if you guys have time, that'll be fantastic. So yeah.
Cool. Play the game when I leave.
Yeah, well, come back on Sunday because we're actually evolving this, and there's going to be a lot of evolution with this map and stuff. So. But yeah, we will miss you.
That's okay, man. I'll definitely come back Sunday. I'm excited to see it. It'll be inspiring so that I can see what other people are doing. I certainly like to see what the other devs are up to. That way I can get my own, I guess, inspiration up. As soon as I see you guys doing this kind of stuff, it certainly gets me going and makes me want to do some more things. And of course, Matt, it's good to be able to see your game evolving as it has. I mean, I remember jumping yours way back almost a year ago. Was I think just about, not quite 8 months, I guess.
Almost, yeah. It just turned 1. Like I got the notification from Tumblr.
Awesome. Well, yeah, congratulations on turning 1 with your fastest flight, and of course all the success you've had in games. I'm sure it'll continue, especially as you are here right now in the VR world. That's going to continue to go. I do have to say, if not to promote myself too much, but if anybody's here is interested in getting involved into Unity or game development, I did make a 10-minute tutorial simply showing how to get your Oculus integrated into Unity, as well as your Leap Motion integrated in there as well. And just a little disclaimer, the Leap Motion image hands do not work in Unity 5.1 as of the current moment, and that is because the Oculus originally used a left camera and a right camera to configure both eyeballs. Now, the Unity 5.1 actually configures both of those things in its software and only gives you one camera. And because of that, anything that was built with 2 cameras now doesn't, work the same way, or at least until they fix those assets. But anyhow, if you're interested in starting something and building some terrain, adding some fixtures, and creating a simple game, you can do it in about 10 minutes, and I show you how to do that stuff. If you're interested, so check it out.
Well, absolutely, that's great.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do plugs and go ahead and plug your channel and how people can find you and that such thing.
All right, I'll just finish myself here. My name's RealityCheckVR, Caleb. I do the game development, and you can find me, of course, on Twitter and Instagram with RealityCheckDev on Twitter, RealityCheckVR on Instagram. I keep track of all the event production that I do, as well as VR projects and film photography. And of course here, I've got the YouTube channel. Yeah, there's the wife. Got the YouTube channel, RealityCheckVR, and I like to play different games as well as create dev projects of my own and show them off. And one little quick plug, if anybody here has a game or is doing any developments or would like to do a collab, I would love to do it with you. I'm really interested and have a passion for this VR stuff, so I'd be excited to connect with anybody who wants to.
That's one of my biggest things when I bring everybody here, developers, enthusiasts. We all get connected. You all get to know each other. I get to know you guys, and it's a big deal. And Caleb, you're part of the family, and now, you know, Nick, you've been part of the family, and Matt, now you're part of the VR family here. So it's fantastic. Caleb, I know you got to go, so feel free to dip out anytime you got. We're gonna push things over to Nick for plugging time.
Okay, well, you guys can know me on the internet as Patsycoconut, but our channel is PureVR. Mostly check us out on Twitter, YouTube, and especially on iTunes and Stitcher, where you can find our podcast. So you can subscribe to that. We have new guests every week, and we just talk about the latest and greatest in VR.
It's a great podcast. You're a pro, dude. Thanks for coming on the show. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, I'm excited to hear that podcast. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm gonna check out your stuff as soon as we get done with this channel. My wife did say she's gonna be 20 minutes late, so I'm sticking around.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Well, don't disappear then.
Yeah, maybe next week, Caleb, you can come join us on the podcast.
Oh, always
Boom.
fun to do, man. Exciting.
All right, Matt, plug, share whatever you like to share.
Yeah, so you can find my stuff at facetedflight.com or at facetedflight on Twitter. We have a new demo that you can download. So if you go to facetedflight.com, there's a Play Now button, and so there's a whole new VR demo there. I fixed a bunch of things and added a new free flight mode, so it's called Exploration. So you can actually play with no time limits and stuff. That way you can get used to controls and
yes,
just kind of hang out and relax.
Yeah, I was enjoying that.
I was really wanting that, so that's awesome.
And there's volume controls now too, so you turn down the game music, turn up whatever you have on Spotify, so you just like fly around, chill out, have fun. It's a small taste of what I'm trying to build. Actually have the old demo that I have, I'm calling it the prototype. It has 3 levels that it shipped with. If you include the new one from the new level in the demo, we have 5 levels. Everything I'm building now is about 4 times bigger than the original prototype levels that I was shipping. So they're much bigger levels to fly around. It doesn't feel like you're in a tiny enclosed space that you kind of have to squeeze into. I kind of compare it to like a roller coaster like Space Mountain versus one of the behemoths at Cedar Point. You know, it feels completely different. And we're also adding multiplayer, and so that would be huge if you could back us on Kickstarter. So you can get to that by going to facetedflight.com. But yeah, thanks Gunter for having me. This has been awesome. It's been great hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and first thing I'm going to do is go back your project, man. I loved playing your demo.
Thank you.
All right, so a couple announcements. VR Chat Weekly meetup is Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, GMT -4. So come out and play Red Light, Green Light. It's our new game that we found out that works really well in the social VR space. You know, the game we learned in primary school. It sounds maybe a little boring, but it's not when you get 12 of us adults in there playing this silly game. And we have an Andy's Room Toy Story themed world that we do it in now. So good stuff. Go to Road to VR and click the events button in their main menu, and you'll get a calendar of all social events going on. So you can see what's going on at AltSpace, Converge here, and other places. And I'll be lining up a lot of great shows. Got a lot of devs, creators, entrepreneurs, personalities going to be coming out on the next episode. So stay tuned for that. You can reach out to me on guntersuniverse.com. There's a ton of buttons there that take you to my social media. Add me on Skype. I really like to chat in real time. And that's it, man. It's a show. I've had a lot of fun. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for watching at home. Take care.
Later.
See ya.
Last one. And the music won't work because I have to hit the button again. But instead of music, I'm going to hit this video. That's hilarious.
It's a cat.
It's not. It was a dog, but I'm going to play the... Oh, I can't hear.
Oh no.
What is this?
Oh no, I haven't actually heard this yet, but I saw somebody else watch it.
I charge 50 for an ounce, and my dad used to fuck me rippity.
Not a very
My
good
name's
fake
Snake,
stomach he's got.
from a rival gang, so give me the drugs or I'll go bang. I'm a real rough bloke, I'll murder your wife, so give me the drugs or you'll be in strife.
Oh no, he's got the drop on me, but lucky I got a trick up my sleeve. Bang! Biggity bang, a bigger bang bang, biggity biggity bang, and a shoot shoot shoot, put a bullet in your head. Bing,
This
bang,
is
boom, and
amazing.
he's effing dead.
Catchy tune.
Right there, I'm a crooked cop. Give me a bribe or your drugs will stop. Oh, you gangsters are such big roughies. I'm gonna put you in handcuffies.
Oh no, it's the boys in blue. What the hell am I gonna do? Bang! Biggity bang, a bigger bang bang, biggity biggity bang, and a shoot shoot shoot, put a bullet in your head. Bing bam boom, and he's effing dead. Well, hello there, I'm just a passerby, and I bang! Biggity bang, a bigger bang, bang, and a shoot shoot shoot, put a bullet in your head. Bing bam boom, and he's effing dead.
This is amazing.
There you go, folks.
Nice.
Bikey Wars.
Awesome.
Auntie Donna Studios.
Next
Or
time,
group.
it should be too many cooks.
And then this is normally how we take the show out. And I say lots of thank yous and sorry so much for the terrible drops and problems and all of that. It couldn't be avoided.
Wait a second.
I killed someone. They couldn't take it.
Wait.
How do we do CPR in here?
I can't get him.
We can't.
Oh, what the hell? Wait. Wait. No. This is terrible.